And you mentioned about the acquisition reform. That is a huge deal, and it's not just something that affects the acquisition side of the house, but directly correlates to what we do inside the logistics community. Can you expand a little bit on the acquisition piece and some of the changes that are taking place there?
Yeah, I could talk to any number of those things. Several actually. And when I mentioned the acquisition and transformation strategy, really that's just a framework. It brings together things we were already working on, but it just kind of it bolsters, building up on the strengths and what we need across the department, across the services, the combatant commanders, warfighters, what we need to deliver the capabilities that the sustainment logistics portfolio have. And I'll just talk about a couple of them because I think these are things that some may have heard of, but not maybe intimately familiar with. The first one I would say is the Regional Sustainment Framework. Uh, June of last year, we signed our Regional Sustainment Framework implementation guidance, and really it was from 2 years ago. It's a strategic initiative, and it's a way for us to do co-sustainment with our allies and partners forward in the theater at closer to the point of need. And when we think about, for example, something that has to take 400 days cycle time from leaving the theater, like a radio, to get all the way back to the US to the depot for repair and get back to the theater for use by the warfighter, that 400 days is ridiculous, right? Making up a word. Um, and when we have a partner in theater in Australia, for example, that can help us, they need those radios as well, and they have the ability to repair. So this is a bit about burden sharing and burden shifting a little bit too. That they are full-fledged, interested, absolutely leaning into the repair cycle to help repair these radios, which also benefits our U.S. forces. And that co-sustainment activity, we've got several of those pathways. We have 6 pathway projects out there across Indo-PACOM. They are led by my office, but also in partnership with our international partners and defense industry. And it's how we can mutually co-sustain those weapon systems. And when you think about co-sustainment, co-production, and things like that, co-sustainment is an easier threshold to cross because those are systems that are already in place in theater and with our allies and partners flying the same aircraft, using the same equipment that we are. And then that frees up our organic industrial base to do the things that are only bespoke US systems and only things that really need to be done back at home at the depots back in the United States and CONUS. So that's a really interesting and exciting time. We are leveraging it into PACOM. We are engaged with UCOM and CENTCOM as well. Some of the work we are doing is helping with Epic Fury and things like that too. But this is the beginning of the expansion. In fact, we're working on how do we go big in this, go in a big way on this. So that's something to work on as we go forward in the future. So I don't want to get too far ahead of my leadership, but it's an exciting time in this space, and it's a really great way that the partners can also participate in their own success. The other one I would mention is the SRIM Implementation Center, Integration Center, the Supply Chain Risk Management Integration Center. And the mission of it really is to not do like the act of supply chain risk management itself. We all own it. This is a misnomer. Everybody thinks like, who owns SRIM? Guess what? You all do. We all do. There are 12 categories of risk. We've published that. There are lots of subcategories of risk. But if we built a taxonomy that describes and defines what each of those risk areas are, and then everybody can go buy a square or buy 6 or whatever ones will relate to you, and you can share up and see who else shows up, and then you can have a productive conversation of how to monitor, manage, mitigate, eliminate, whatever you're going to do with that risk that you see across whatever environment, cyber, transportation risk, production risk, whatever it has, even like human trafficking, is a risk in our supply chain. And the whole idea of the Supply Chain Risk Management Integration Center is really to work and standardize across the department how we look at risk, to be proactive, to improve our readiness ultimately. It's collaborative data sharing, it's using advanced analytics, it's applying best practices to really transform a lot of disconnected efforts into a coordinated enterprise wide action that helps us get mission assurance.